Okay, so we're going to do the rotoscope exercise now, where we're going to get this guy to walk on front of the text when when the text is obviously, on front of him, in the sense that the text is in a layer directly above our video plate. So stands to reason we can't put the text behind him in the layers, because then that goes in the layer beneath the video, you can't see it. So we need to find a way of making the text invisible when he interacts or intersects with it, or when he walks across where the text is situated. Then we need a way of making only him appear, and for the text to disappear, to give the optical illusion that he is in front of the text. So the way that we do that is we use a mask applied to the text layer, and that mask is going to be set to subtract. Okay, so that's a single frame of an example, and there are other things we're going to need to do, such as feathering the mask to make it look a little bit more like it's part of that motion blur as he walks past, and various other things, but we're going to come to them as we work. So we have a mask created here. So what we could do, actually we'll start it from scratch. So I'm going to delete that mask, and we'll go back to we'll take a fairly basic run at it, where we start the mask just before he intersects with the text. So the way to do this is to just get a fairly, enough detail on it that it captures the curvature of his torso. And don't worry about the text disappearing. That's just because we've drawn an add mask off the text, or away from the text. So we set that to none so that we can see him, the mask, and the text. Now, here's the important point. Make sure to keyframe your mask path, or you will end up not capturing the movement of the mask as it moves across the screen. So we're following the movement of him, but we're applying the mask to the text. So we go to the end, and we double click that, grab that, just drag it over there, like so. So what we'll end up with is a traveling mask, and we should only really need to be kind of tweaking that at various points in between our two keyframes. So good rule of thumb is to go halfway, select your mask, get it to line up with the change of direction of his arms and things like that, and then we go back halfway between those keyframes, and there's obviously a lot of movement there in that his arm is reaching outwards. And go there, pull it back in. And we kind of keep splitting the difference until we get it pretty much following the outer parts of his jumper and his back and his front and so on. Okay, so we get it looking reasonably well for this video. Let's see how we look with this. Oops, I need to set it back to subtract, and I'll actually put my work area to start and end just around the effect. Okay, so you kind of get away with that really, but you're going to want to spend a lot more time to make sure that it's much more precise. But you're also going to want to play around with things like the feather, because you want it to match the motion blur. If the motion blur ends up cutting back into the arm, then you might want to play with the expansion to push it back out. And so I can see a couple of things popping up there, but anyway, that'll do for now. And that's how you do it. That is an animated mask rotoscoping its way across the text, following him, but cutting into the text.